The Israeli military says the International Committee of the Red Cross has received the remains of 2 more hostages to be transferred from the Gaza Strip to Israeli custody. It came hours after Israel said one of the bodies previously turned over was not that of a hostage, testing the fragile truce that paused the 2-year war last week. Israel's military said the coffins would be given to its forces in Gaza. The ceasefire called for all hostages, living and dead, to be handed over by a deadline that expired Monday. Hamas's military wing now says it has handed over all hostage bodies it can access. A convoy of Red Cross volunteer trucks, including refrigerated corpse transport trucks, brought the bodies of Palestinians from Israel to Gaza. The forensics team in Gaza is working to identify the remains of 90 Palestinians and has described disturbing conditions, saying the bodies bear signs of torture and executions. Meanwhile, the last 20 living Israeli hostages released by Hamas are beginning a difficult path to recovery. Israeli officials say they're being treated for malnutrition, lack of sunlight, and the trauma of wearing leg chains for months.
We have to make really a survey system by system and then really make a costume-made treatment plan for every hostage. And of course, the psychological trauma and the fact that they were like 2 years frozen out of the normal world and have now to really narrow this gap and to learn how to live again.
The Egyptian foreign minister says that phase 1 of the Israel-Gaza deal is moving well.
We told the American side that as for the remains of the bodies, collecting the remains will take some time because they are under rubbles and you have a lot of explosive materials, devices under the rubble, so reaching them will be a bit difficult.
So far, Hamas has only returned a few of an expected 28 dead captives.
Hamas also released another body overnight, and after going through the proper identification process at the Forensic Institute in Yaffo, it is confirmed the body is not of a hostage. We stand clear when we say this. Hamas, the terror organization, is required to uphold its commitments to the mediators and return all of our hostages as part of the implementation of this agreement. We will not compromise on this, and we will spare no effort until our fallen hostages return.
Satellite images from today showed trucks bound for Gaza, wearing at the Kerem Shalom border crossing. Israel resumed preparations to open the main Rafah crossing after a dispute over the return of the bodies of dead hostages that had threatened to derail the fragile ceasefire deal with Hamas. The Israeli military in May 2024 took control of the Palestinian side of Gaza's southern Rafah crossing, which has been central for the delivery of aid and the exit of injured people in the war. The crossing, which briefly reopened between February and March this year, had been a lifeline to the outside world for Palestinians.
We are ready to engage again, and we have notified all parties that we are ready to operate the Rafah crossing.
The World Health Organization said it was scaling up health services in Gaza City after delivering 3 trucks of surgical and essential medical supplies. An international emergency medical team has also been deployed to the enclave, while they're helping set up 2 new operating theaters and planning to add 120 inpatient beds.
Part of WHO's scaling up efforts to rehabilitate the health system consisted in delivering medical supplies to the central pharmacy of the MOH. In parallel, we are deploying EMTs in Shifa Hospital. The objective is to strengthen the HR capacity of the facility in order to cope with the pressing needs of the population.
The United Nations is seeking a dramatic boost in humanitarian aid for Gaza, saying the hundreds of relief trucks cleared to enter the devastated enclave were nowhere near the thousands needed to ease a humanitarian disaster. As for rebuilding Gaza, the Palestinian Authority is concerned about reconstruction.
International aid is limited, and it is our hope that international donors will be generous to allow shelter and provide shelter for our people, because the whole idea and my worry is that Israel might use this sabotage of reconstruction as a mechanism for forced transfer our people.